tree must begin life as a tiny seed, so too does every comedy series begin its life as an awkward pilot episode that you look back and dread. But we're here today for remembering, not forgetting. As you may have heard, my old video hosting site Blip.tv is dead. Fortunately, there are many other great alternatives to Blip TV, none of which I'm qualified for, so I'm stuck on YouTube along with everybody and everybody's mother. Literally everybody's mother. But that doesn't mean we can't have good times. Let's go back and enjoy the seed that spawned this series. The obscure goes first. This is a rock.
Your brain is made of tubes and wires that soak up images and sounds like a multimedia sponge. As you mature, these solid blocks chip away and flake away and become obscured by the present. But they linger, and you make weird associations. You have weird cravings, and you make esoteric jokes, the origins of which you cannot remember. Your dying thoughts will be about a sitcom from 40 years ago. You can't keep the fictional characters separate from your family. They're all just faces in your mind. So let's not shun the shadows. Let's not hide from the echoes. Let's go outside and howl at the moonlight. Let's thumb through the devil's magazines and take a walk down memory lane. This is my first time on the internet wasteland, even though plenty of people have done this before me. In fact, let's make that today's theme. Going first. We have our rituals for choosing who goes first in life and death matters, such as board games. Board games were invented by a bored guy, hence the name. One of the all-time standards is chess. In that competition, white goes first. Why white? Because everybody wants to be black. Black is cool. Black is like a shadow moving through the shadows at night, like a ninja. White is not cool. White is the color of the shoes your cousin Eddie gives you, and he has no taste. Ninjas are not white, except for that one guy. Other games are not so civil, so the instruction manual dedicates an entire section to dictating who goes first. In Risk, you roll dice. In Scrabble, you draw a letter, and the highest letter goes first. These are necessary for reducing violence, because there is nothing more terrifying than a hyper-egocentric child that doesn't get his way and becomes some kind of wild pig.
I'm a wild pig!
Silence! Speaking of children, Candyland loves children and hates adults. Thus, I hate Candyland. In Candyland, the youngest player goes first, ensuring that they have a victory in a game whose sole deciding factor is based on a head start. If you're an asshole who hates children, then you will reverse the rules so that you go first, and you can laugh in their faces when they lose. You're a terrible person. But why would you, a child hater, be playing board games with children? Such an outcome is an oversight of the Department of Children and Families. Video games were much simpler in deciding who got to go first. Whoever wrestled the controller from his friend had the honor of being player 1. The loser was player 2, and nobody wanted to be player 2, because player 2 got the standard controller. You see, there is a point in every kid's life where they realize the controller that came with the console was crap. So they bought a second one, and they shoved the original one into a junk drawer. But when you came over, you needed a controller, so they stuck you with that one. And it was sticky and didn't cooperate. It was hard to use, and the buttons didn't mash right. In combat games, the second player was on the right side of the screen, which was reversed of what you were used to. It was like driving on the wrong side of the road. You were ensured failure, an instant fatality. Excalibur, indeed. Also, no one wants to be Luigi. That's like playing as John Oates, opposite the charismatic Daryl Hall. Oates did have his own game, though, where he traversed the world looking at landmarks, and he was too short for an information desk without standing on the back of a dinosaur. It was a dark and very surreal time for John Oates. Okay, I kid John Oates. He is a good musician, but you must admit, things would have been different if he had top billing, if he was player one, if he had the M on his hat. But he pulled a Z from the Scrabble bag, and there is not much recovery from that. And let's not even get into Art Garfunkel. Now that we've got to know each other a little better, I can go into more detail in future broadcasts, or whatever you call these things, on the internet. I don't really know that yet. We will not look at major films or TV shows or memories, because God knows plenty of people do that already. Instead, we'll look at all the forgotten things, the great gems swept under the proverbial rug, and some things that were forgotten for a good reason. It's kind of like my specialty. They wouldn't call me the obscure if it weren't. Now, some people claim that I am pretentious, but being pretentious is so yesteryear. I'm more like post-tentious. This is a commentary track on the very first video I ever filmed, which was about 10 minutes ago. Things were different back then. I was really high when I filmed this. I'm still really high right now, except now I'm also really hungry. Is this the part where I talk about Daryl Hall? Is this the part where I talk about Candyland? How long is this? God, that's too long. I'm not watching this whole thing again. What else is on? I love this show. It's like watching everything on TV all at once. Like a condensed television bar. A power bar of TV. I am very hungry.
Well, wasn't that something? Yeah, that was sure something. Oh, look, something. I'm gonna go something that's something. Subscribe!